Hey everyone, it's Friday. Welcome to SHIRO Show. I'm Saturn Dave, and this is my cohort Pat Trainoco.
Hello.
How you doing?
As they say, let's start this off without any words. I got so high I scratched and I bled, and I love myself better than you. You know it's right, but what should I do?
Nice.
Black sheep got blackmailed again.
You're gonna sing the whole song right here?
No.
Let's go. I need my guitar.
That's still actually one of my favorite Nirvana songs of all time. Is
Yeah.
On a Plane.
Yeah, On a Plane is
That one or Drain You.
it's literally my favorite. That's why I put that in there. I was like, hey, I'll just sneak that tiny little excerpt in there, as like a nod to one of my favorite bands of all time. I know it was like one of Kay's favorite bands too, we had this little guitar, we had this little powwow once, over Discord where we all had our guitars out and we were all playing Nirvana, and there was a decent amount of lag, but it was a lot of fun.
And it's funny because we're all tuned in like different keys.
Well, I mean, we're all in E440, but different frequencies of E440. So yeah, it was a little weird. But still, it was fun. It was a bonding experience.
But yeah, it's all good on my end. Just diving deep into those prototypes that just released, which we'll talk about later on.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm glad. Hey, Nick, how's it going?
Wait,
Yes, we have Nick in the chat.
Yeah, voice of Panda God is here.
The panda
Not
has come
visible
down
on the
from on high.
That's
Nice. Well, any Shiro show with Nick in the chat is even that much better.
I'll be here for a little bit. I will need to jump off in about a half hour, but yeah, figured I'd stop
Okay, cool.
by
Well, we're gonna
audibly.
start by talking about the article you wrote on Omakase Savers, and the funny thing is, I was going to try. The plan was that I was going to try to stream Magic Knight Rayearth, the prototype that Pat wrote an article on, but it was a CCD image, and I downloaded it at the last minute, and I wasn't able to get it working on my satiator. I put the Q image on my satiator, but I guess the satiator won't read it needs like a Q ISO or whatever. So anyway, I got Omakase Savers on there, and that's what we're gonna stream today. So you'll be able to tell folks about it, and then we'll show them. So yeah, let's get the
article. That's good enough. Article's good enough.
Well, and yeah, we're gonna go right into Omakase Savers, but we'll definitely talk Magic Knight Rayearth in a minute here. So yeah, Nick wrote an article. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so as you can see by the headline, it is inspired by Magic Knight Rayearth. You do play as 3 magical girls with very, very trope-heavy personalities. I came across this game through FilmCow, who some of you know is the guy that made Charlie the Unicorn, amongst several dozen other cartoons and short films on the
Nick,
internet.
that kills people.
Yep, you know the one. You know the guy.
He's the unicorn missing a kidney, right?
He's missing a kidney, at least one kidney, possibly
maybe
more.
a spleen. I don't know.
Possibly. You never
Does he
know
also have a banana in his ear at one point?
He was urged,
To put a banana in the ear?
to put one in his ear, to put it
Fair
directly
enough.
into his favorite ear. But again, you'd have to
It's
watch
true?
to find out. It says who, but so FilmCow throughout the past few years has been streaming video games pretty much every night, like literally 7 nights a week. And as it turns out, the Sega Saturn is his favorite console. So every Saturn night, he streams a Saturn game, and he's been doing this for about at least 3 years, if memory serves correct, possibly longer, maybe shorter. And he spent basically a month, 4 Saturn days consecutively playing Omakase Savers. What happens is he's got hundreds of Saturn games, nearly every North American game, and a lot of Japanese games.
A lot.
He got this because the cover art looked cool, and he thought it might be good for his stream, saying that if it weren't for his stream, he probably wouldn't have tried this out at all.
Right.
I hadn't heard anything about it. I wasn't able to find like a playthrough video of this outside of his stream, and I saw Fart Daily asked in the chat. He's not on Twitch. He just streams on YouTube. So if you just go to FilmCow on YouTube, that's where he streams. And all his VODs are in a playlist there of unlisted videos.
I still can't not giggle at that name.
And Nick also included the entire stream, right? at the end.
All 4 parts
Yeah.
are there.
Nice.
So
You can check it out.
So he's basically the first person I'm aware of on the internet to, play this game and post videos of it. Because it's not very common. There aren't a lot of copies of it. I think one of the sources that one of his fans found is that it had fewer than 20,000 copies sold in Japan.
Ooh, new collector's
Wow.
item. Get on that, guys, before the prices go to $10,000.
He bought it for $10. Unfortunately,
Gotcha.
I'm afraid that through this exposure, that will inadvertently make the price go up. But hopefully, more people play this game one way or another, because it is delightful.
What's a better deal, Dogecoin or Omakase Savers?
Probably give it another couple months, and Omakase coin will catch right up.
Omakase coin.
Hey,
Nice.
They'll sell the
Omacoin?
cover as an NFT or something. But
works.
all right, so on to what the game is about. I've been talking a lot about FilmCow and about the whole fact that nobody played this game. So what the heck is it? You play as 3 girls, not those girls.
No.
But
Those are different girls. Those are magic.
Those are
Knight.
different
It's
girls.
these girls right here.
yes, those girls, those 3 magical girls. They come across a like some ancient item thing at some monument somewhere in a Japanese city, and it gives them these wonderful powers, and then suddenly ghosts overrun their little Japanese town. The first big bad ghost, he steals all the cakes, and you have to go around various cake shops that are empty. Various empty cake shops to talk to the people and find out where the heck all the cakes are and where all these cake stealing ghosts went. It's very text heavy. So at first glance, this might be a game that you think Westerners just can't play due to the language barrier, but it's very easy to understand. The waypoints on the map and the controls and everything are pretty easy to pick up. If you've played a number of video games before, you probably won't have a difficult time progressing in this game. You just won't know what the heck anyone's saying, unless, of course, you speak and read Japanese. So yeah, you go around the town, you throughout your various waypoints, talk to people, and then once you find the ghosts, you get into an FMV battle with them. It's there's a timed YouTube video linked somewhere in the article, but no need to find it and click it or anything. But I'm sure you'll find out when you play it, Dave. But it starts out like kind of like a shmup style top down battle where you're moving your girl sprite around, dodging little tiny ghosts. There's like dozens of the little tiny ghosts, and then the big bad ghost somewhere in the fighting arena. And when you attack, you press the attack button, and then it pauses the game. There might be a screenshot of this if you scroll down a bit. That's an empty cake shop that you're on, by the way.
Oof.
And,
I hate it when you're
here's the
missing some
battle screen.
cakes.
I know, and these girls didn't like that much either. So when you hit the attack button, the game basically pauses, and you can select which ghost you attack, and then a little FMV cutout, plays a video of your magical girl shooting some fireball thing at the ghosts, and that's pretty much how battle plays out in a nutshell. There's 4 episodes. I think it took Jason of FilmCow about 8 hours grand total to beat. If you're a native Japanese speaker, it might take you a shorter amount of time. Fairly quick to get through. There might be a few places where you get stuck, but just follow the waypoints on the map. Dave, for when you play later, the flashing blue points on the map are where you should go and talk to people.
Okay.
Solid blue points on the map are where you've already talked to people.
Good to know.
There was some cross promotion thing.
Feel?
The 3 girls were part of Feel, which is a band, I guess. And the theme song was
Nice.
pressed to that mini CD, which Jason of FilmCow contemplated buying for a split second, but ultimately decided that hundreds of dollars might not be a good price for that.
For a little mini CD.
No.
Not the greatest idea. FilmCow's in the chat. He says, really hope to get that mini CD of the theme song one day.
Yeah.
I hope you get it too, FilmCow. You've definitely earned it. I really hope you get it.
Is it just me, or does
for
this
real.
sound kind of like Magic Knight Rayearth meets Yokai Watch?
You know,
I was just saying the same thing. I was thinking the same thing. It seems so much like Yokai Watch.
Yeah, it's way before
I'm not
Yokai
terribly
Watch.
familiar with Yokai Watch. I know a little bit about it, and from what
It's
I
cute.
know,
I like
It's
Yokai
great.
Watch.
I think that's an accurate description.
Yeah.
And so the 3 actresses who play the girls in Omakase Sabers did play the Magic Knight Rayearth girls in a commercial for the Sega Saturn / Game Gear game.
I thought they looked familiar.
Yep. So that's where they look familiar. And if you do read this article, be sure to watch the theme song, the opening intro of the game, because it's delightful. The whole game is just a real fun, wholesome treat. And if you're into the magical girl anime or just games similar to this, you're going to get a kick out of it. If you're really not okay with language barriers, you'll still be able to get through the game, but you're not going to be able to understand what anyone's saying. So
maybe that'll be the next fan translation.
I know, yeah. FilmCow hopes that this gets translated someday. I certainly hope this gets translated someday. I bet there's a lot of funny bits in the dialogue, and if this does get translated, I'll be playing it day one as soon as that's available.
I will say
one thing that
go ahead, Pat.
The one thing you didn't explain is that they're dressed as the Magic Knights. Did you want to say why?
They were in the commercial for Magic Knight Rayearth. I told you that.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Yeah.
And one other thing I thought was funny is that their personalities and color schemes almost mirror the Powerpuff Girls to a T.
You mentioned that.
The only difference being that Bubbles wears blue and the Bubbles equivalent wears orange in this game. So that's kind of...
They probably didn't want to do those colors for obvious reasons.
Yeah. So
mostly because they don't want to get sued by Clamp.
Yeah, I caught one of his streams. I think it was the one where they were at the pool, and then they were in the locker rooms and stuff. And what I saw was pure gold. So I was like, first of all, this is a game I had not heard of or I was not familiar with. Maybe I
hadn't heard of it either.
Maybe it's something that I scrolled past. It's probably something I scrolled past on eBay, thinking, okay, this looks weird. But again, like. It looked, honestly, the front cover looked like a ramen box. It looked like, it honestly.
Omicron Savers, or Omicure Savers.
Yeah, but again, like, after seeing his stream, I was just like, okay, I gotta play this game. So I'm actually glad that we're going to be able to stream it a little bit for you guys and just, talk Saturn.
FilmCow has popped up in the chat again, saying that the orange Omakase saver, Sayako Chiba, has done voice work, a good number of it. And I think this is mentioned in the article. Jason also found that a couple of the people who worked on this game also did stuff for Sakura Wars 2 and 3, and among other things. If memory serves correct, it's in the article. So if I'm wrong, then sorry. But it's correct in the article.
Yeah, well, thank you for writing this up. I mean, you did a very thorough job.
Well, big thanks to FilmCow. This article wouldn't exist if FilmCow hadn't bit the bullet, paying $10 to get this game and stream it.
$10.
Hey, $10 for 4 different streams. That sounds like good. To me.
He made that game work for itself. And also, be sure to watch his streams every night. This guy's streaming Saturn games. He's streaming every night, but Saturn games on Saturn Day, right?
That's right. Yeah, he streams video games every night. Saturn games once a week on Saturn Day night. So
the Valley, right?
Yep, the video game Valley. Jason, thanks again for agreeing to be interviewed for this article. Greatly appreciate it. And of course, thanks for bringing this game to light at all. I really don't think the Saturn scene as a whole would have really found out about Omakase Sabers and what this game's really all about if you hadn't played it on that stream. So thanks for showing the world the glory and joy of this extremely wholesome magical girl experience. And Jason in the chat saying $2.50 a stream. It was a bargain. Yes,
sounds good to me.
Now you guys can get out there and jack up the price. Just kidding. Wah, wah.
But also make sure to check out his animations too. They're very funny.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with his animations and you like weird comedy, you'll enjoy his work quite
Absolutely.
a bit. Dad Cop 2 is an unsung hero of internet videos. So.
Yes,
and you can't be the llama one.
No,
exactly.
That's llamas with hats series. Yeah.
So that's Omakase Sabers. I'll stick in voice for here in a little bit, but I'll jump off in about 10-15 minutes. So.
Sounds good.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Well, moving on. Yeah, our own Peter started a new series on Peter tends to write like long form editorial, and it's very researched and has like just loaded with facts, and when he writes a short article, it's still not incredibly short, like, but it's short for Peter. And so he started this new series called SHIRO Shorts. It kind of reminds me of like Salute Your Shorts.
I was about to say that.
Pat and I have like a mind meld going on here.
Jeez, I was about to say Salute Your
Shorts. Nice. No, but it must be like a Friday thing. I don't know. Anyway, so Peter decided
we're 90s kids. We're 90s.
Peter's gonna be bringing us periodically these short form articles just featuring little nuanced little things about the Saturn's history or like the marketing, and he's got a ton of these nuggets. You know, Peter, I've talked to him on several occasions where he's just got all sorts of ideas for this stuff, and right now we're just he wrote an article about the faces of Saturn marketing. You know, obviously Hiroshi Fujioka comes to mind as like, you know, well, he's the poster the poster guy for Saturn.
For Japan
Yeah.
Saturn.
But I mean, you know, now he's kind of transcended that and just become almost like our Lord and Savior Saturn, you know.
Holiness.
That's right, because you know he'll kick your ass if you don't play Saturn. That's right. Common Rider, yeah. Paul in the chat is that is correct. He played a couple different things. He was also like he also did like a ramen commercial. But yeah, he's the Common Rider guy.
Huh.
And let's see, we got Hannah Sin. We actually had an interview with Ken Lowe, and he gave us a bunch of cool information about the faces of these Saturn ads. And so Hannah Sin was the gal we see here in this Head for Saturn ad. They also featured.
Is she the one in the video as well, or is that the other lady?
I think that was a different woman.
You know, I think it was a different woman, and that's not listed here in the article. We who knows? Peter might be updating this in the future, but there was also even another gal for the Brazilian ad. So there's a lot of faces of Saturn. This doesn't cover all of them, but it covers the ones
I still think the Brazilian man on the end of the beginning of that ad is like the best. Yeah. The best.
So when I uploaded that, somebody thought it wasn't even real. They were like, "This is fake," and then somebody from Brazil was like, "No, I'm from Brazil, and I can vouch that this is real." You know.
There's a lot of that going on with Saturn ads.
Oh yeah.
A lot of it's very difficult to believe.
And a lot of it's like basically just like translated, but they like remake it almost. So it even seems like a bootleg, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. Right. We had Ione Sky for one of these mag ads, from one of the Head for Saturn ads, and what was the association with Sub Pop? I can't actually read this, but I'm seeing the Sub Pop logo there at the bottom.
I think that I might be wrong. My memory could be failing me, but I think this might have been covered in our Ken Lowe interview. But if it was, I don't remember what he said about it. I could also be totally wrong
about that.
Yeah,
might be talking out of my butt.
It's too small for me to see, but it must have been some kind of music promotion or collaboration. Yeah. Can't speak to it knowledgeably off of the top of my head.
Yeah,
but
two Nirvana references in one show.
I know, right?
There you go.
You had Ice Cube, good old Ice Cube.
Ice Cube.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. You know, somebody on the SHIRO group put up a meme that had Ice Cube with a thought bubble saying, "I'm glad they didn't call it the Sega Uranus." Because then he would have had rings around his anus, I guess. I don't know.
I'm not commenting any further.
You're not gonna comment. It's okay. I went there. I'll be the guy. Anyway, okay. So you had Ice Cube, of course, and then for the Nothing Else Matters campaign, we had Barbara Moore, who was featured as the naked lady behind all of the screenshots that we're apparently not supposed to see because we're distracted by Saturn creamy 3D graphics.
That's right.
And Peter managed to get a shot of Barbara Moore in there.
Yeah, that was like, whoa.
Ken Lowe did shed light on that very well-known ad. So
I'm just gonna scroll past that.
Yeah, just go past that.
Yeah.
We don't need to get demonetized.
I actually don't know the name of this guy right here. The Sega Saturn.
That looks guy. Like Chris Novoselic.
He does kind of look like Chris Novoselic.
He
There's
looks like a very
there's
big
three
Offspring fan.
Nirvana references in one show, Pat. But you got
I
it.
just gotta get those Nirvana references in there, you know.
Is this going to be a thing moving forward now?
It's gonna. I have JoJo for the other cast, so this is
that
gonna
right?
be Nirvana for this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally just JoJo jokes the entire time.
Anyway, yeah, I would love to see maybe Peter go as we gain more information, and I imagine that'll come as we do more interviews and stuff with people, and we find out more information about this, because we're always finding out new stuff about the Saturn all the time. So maybe he'll update this and add new faces, but. I'm gonna let you take this next one, Pat. You did
Project
this.
Deluge.
Oh no, Nick did the write up on Deluge.
Yeah.
Nick, are you still there?
I am still here, yes. Unless you can't hear me.
Why don't you both tag team this one? I'll be
Sure.
quiet.
Tag team, nice. Yeah, so this is kind of a surprise to me. Hidden Palace really just posted several dozen, not only Saturn prototypes, but like PS1, PS2 prototypes. And from what I looked through there, it seemed more like they're like a review build, so like they're 80% complete. A lot of those, but there's some little different nuggets of unfinished things. So there's definitely, it's not definitely completely like review copies per se.
This is really good for history nuts who really want to go through and live the progression of some of these Saturn games midway through development. There are going to be a few games in this list that are basically identical to their final release, but many of them are pre-release, partially completed builds, some demos, some of them don't even work at all. Like, I think there's an NBA Jam prototype that they uploaded for the sake of preserving history, but you won't be able to play it on a console or emulator at all. But most of them are playable. Most of them are playable for sure.
The weird thing is they actually had a Japanese game. I forget what the name of it was, but it actually had a Japanese game as a prototype, and I'm wondering what that's about. Maybe it might be one of those, like, you know how the magazines like they sort of previewed the Japanese games like when it's in Japan. Maybe it's one of those things.
Is it this
I know
idol?
that happened a lot. Like, I know with Parodius that happened.
Idol
or at least they
Janashi.
imported it. There's like the Sega Rally, for example. There's a Sega Rally prototype here that I did get a chance to try out, marked as 75% complete, no intro, and the main menu has like a weird bouncy ball as a cursor. And I got first place in championship and did not unlock the Lancia Strato, so the Lancia is seemingly absent in that build. And the final cutscene has no music at all. Some weird differences like that, you know, very much a it's not done yet prototype, and you know, you can play it. I know that I'm not sure if this is the same one, but there was a guy in one of the Facebook pages who said he worked for Bethesda in the 90s and had some Saturn demo discs when they were sent a Saturn, you know, possibly making a Daggerfall port, which they didn't make.
Big sad.
And he had a Sega Rally prototype along with that from Sega as like a, hey, here's an example of what the Saturn can do. And he did say he was in touch with Hidden Palace. I'm not sure if this is that same build, but you know, that's kind of an example of what some of these were for. You know, hey, you should make a port, or you should make Saturn games. Here's what the console can do. Here's some stuff that we're working on. And then of course,
tell how he goes back in time and makes a Skyrim port.
Saturn Skyrim port. He's gonna get that time machine and get there right away. You did it again, Todd. You did it again. But
Skyrim
many of these
12.
were also sent to magazine writers as like review copies. Sometimes they get these months before the official release. And one other cool note, I'm a big Spyro fan, and there were multiple Spyro prototypes, specifically one of Spyro 3 that was pretty early, and there's a lot of the dialogue in the text boxes were placeholder text. And I think Moneybags at one point says like, gimme fat wads or the chick will become dead, or something like that. Like stuff like that.
He becomes loads of money.
Yep, loads of money.
Loads of money. What's that fat dosh?
To answer Paul's question in the chat, yes, there are links to download all of these, so you can go test them out. It really did. The first thing I thought was Nick's gonna have a field day with this, you know, because this is the kind of stuff that that you're literally gonna go through. I mean, if you're checking on old Usenet posts, you damn well know he's gonna be digging into these old prototypes and making comparisons, you know.
As soon as I saw some certain ones, I was like, uh-oh, Nick's gonna have to rewrite some reviews.
You're gonna
Oh,
see
yeah.
a lot of these in upcoming
some
and
redactions.
updated reviews. Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of this, a lot of the gameplay from these in upcoming Panda Man reviews.
Expect delays because
for
of it.
sure.
Nice. Well, that's good.
And then, yeah, Pat played Magic Knight Rayearth. There's a build released in this lot where it's more
There's
than a
actually
year
2
before
builds
the
that were
official
released of it.
Tell us all about it.
I'll skip ahead.
Yeah. Okay, we can do that. Yeah. So there's actually two prototypes. There's a 1998 prototype, which is basically just a pre-release like a review copy, which pretty much was 1-to-1 with what was the retail release. But there was a copy that was a year before in 1997, which is a lot different. To the point where there's so many, like, even starting off, the menu is completely different. Like, as you see, it's like it has a logo more matching the Japanese logo.
That's right.
Which is interesting because it's just called Rayearth, which is my thinking is, were they just going to call it Rayearth, or were they going to add like a, you know how they have on the Japanese logo, it has like the little text on the top? It's going to be one of those where it's like a Magic Knight and underneath it says Rayearth. And you can see it's pretty much the same title menu besides the text is a little bit different. They found this on like a TDK CD. It just says the 97, and yeah, if you want to play the beta intro, it sounds completely different.
Hold up. Before you do that, Dave,
Yeah.
play the official intro, the final intro, which is the video beneath the one that you're currently on in stream. Play like the first 30 seconds of this one, and then I guess we can't hear it. Maybe we can.
No, I can totally hear you. It's playing.
Oh, we got it. So this is the official final.
This is the good one.
Now play the bad one.
Yeah.
All right.
And you'll notice straight away that there's a lot of differences. You'd be like, oh.
All right. Here's the bad one.
Cover your ears.
Cover your ears. Simon Cowell would give this person the boot. Like, it's so pitchy, you know? It's got that original.
It's like the seagull from Little Mermaid.
It had the original, so they hadn't was this pre-working designs taking over the project?
Idea.
Because they obviously didn't implement the in the video here, they hadn't implemented the working designs logo that we had here.
What happened was it literally was just a VHS rip from a Japanese, from a seemingly Japanese copy of the show, and they just digitized that and just put that as a placeholder and put vocals over it.
Oh God, oh God. Yeah, it sounded like Cyndi Lauper, but with a cold or something like that. It was just terrible. It was really bad.
It sounds. You mean Cyndi Lauper, except not good?
Right, like on a bad day or something like that, you know.
So
no, like
every day
I like Cyndi Lauper just fine, but like I can imagine with a cold, that's how she would sound. Anyway,
yeah,
and yeah, then you have
the thing is, I actually kind of like the pre-release menu because they actually have the sword animation of the sword opening up.
Oh yeah.
Because and the other one is just like a static logo. There you go, Magic Knight Rayearth. There's this cool little thing. And I mean, it's not bad, but like I don't know, I kind of would like that them adding that sword because that's in the Japanese version as well.
So what things? What were the biggest things that stood out regarding the actual gameplay to you?
The gameplay, it's pretty much 1-to-1 with the regular copy because all it is, it's like the fan translations we have today where. Like they're hex editing and putting the stuff in there. Like as you can see, one of the biggest changes that I found in terms of text is that little quip about the people running the store are a certain other group of people.
Right.
That I'm not going to say on here.
Other group of people.
I'm not saying it so we're not getting like in trouble.
Right.
But yeah, they as you could see, they use a little bit of harsher word for the people that are running there instead of the word creeps.
Right.
Or crepes.
Crepes.
Depending on how you pronounce things.
A slightly more tame description.
But yeah, the game is pretty much in English at the beginning part, but if you want to scroll down, you can see like the journals are not translated. Some of the cleaf tips are in Japanese still. Some of the NPCs are speaking Japanese. All the journals have no voice acting and are full Japanese. And of course, probably the most interesting part is that the only English dialogue is in the beginning part. If you want to play that up there, I have it timestamped up on the top. It's the video of the text and you can hear. Oh, it doesn't play from that part.
Oh well, I can jump ahead.
It's going to be the cutscene after they arrive. So it's after they arrive in the Magic Night when it's in the all the demon guys are talking to each other.
The legend becomes
right there, that one, yeah.
Embarrassing reality.
And you can see that guy right there. His voice is dubbed, but everyone else is still in Japanese.
I gotcha.
Interesting.
Just very.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's actually the same take that they use in the game as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same vocal take. There's no change. It's literally what they used one for one in game. But I mean, it's probably just a proof of concept. There's no lip flap syncing to him, so it's still the same lip flaps that they used for the Japanese version. But it's just I guess a proof of concept, I suppose.
I gotcha.
But yeah, there's quite a bit, and the cool thing is that you can actually use your save from the retail release in this one, and you can actually go and check out different parts of the game without worrying about things that if you want to see the differences at that point. And of course, there's still some glitches in the text boxes as well, or placeholders.
Right, I saw that. Interesting.
But yeah, there's it's very interesting, just all the differences inside of the game, and how much it like changed between the two, and the changes that they made. So I just thought it was so big that I thought it'd be worth writing an article about.
Yeah,
I think people would be interested.
Right. I still can't get over the awful singing in the 97 build intro.
Yeah.
It's that made my day.
That was bad.
That brightened my day right up.
I'm not sure who it is, but I thought it was the person that sings the Sega CD version of the lunar opening theme. I thought it was, but I'm not 100% sure. It's slightly different. So if you guys if anybody else knows for sure, definitely let us know. But that's my theory, is that somebody just laid out rough vocals. There's called guidance vocals. A lot of artists do it for that write the songs. Like there's plenty of videos online of people singing I think Dolly Parton singing "I'll Always Love You," and just having guide vocals and okay, this is the pitch that I want it to be, and then they send off to the artist and they do it, and that's pretty common with a lot of songs. In Milli Vanilli's case, though, they just left the guide vocals on there.
Milli Vanilli.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just gotta throw a burn in there. But
Nice.
yeah, it's really interesting. But if anyone has any more questions, definitely let me know, and hopefully we'll see more changes through the coming years as people dig through the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff. Appreciate you digging into that.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of fun differences there.
Yeah, and thank you, Nick, for digging into those other ones like Sega Rally and stuff. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of small stuff. But again, if you're a history nut, especially a Saturn history nut, that's going to be a gold mine for you. Highly recommend looking into that.
Cool.
Bless you.
Yeah, bless you, Pat.
Sorry about that.
Blessings for Patrick.
Next blessing comes from Abrasive with more stock on the Satiator.
Oh yeah,
So-
holy stock! I just cheered to that.
Same. I can talk about this for a bit, and then I'm gonna dip and take off. But yeah, so I mean that's pretty much it. Satiators are back in stock, everybody. So for those who
Yay.
don't know what the Satiator is, it is an ODE. Looks like it is still, in fact, in stock. This is well known for not requiring any modification to your Saturn console. You just pop it in the video card slot and do a couple things with your SD card and let her rip, and that's it. Obviously it won't work with the MPEG Lunar game because that requires use of an MPEG card.
Big sad.
And there are still some games that have some issues, so I can't get Corpse Killer to work without locking up after certain cutscenes. And other
Is it bad
FMV
though?
games, like,
I think that's a good feature.
it might be. That might have been done on
Incompatibility
purpose by Mr.
with
for our benefit.
Corpse Killer. Is that what you're saying?
That's a
right.
feature.
That's a feature.
Time Gal still has some troubles working on it, which that is unfortunate because I know there are some fans of that game. And
Is that in
the
English
only-
or is that in Japan? Was that released in English or is that Japanese only?
personally haven't played it. I'm just aware that that is one of the trouble games for the Satiator. And mainly due to its just being really heavy on weird FMVs.
Yeah.
The price tag's the only other thing that might deter people. It is more expensive than your other ODE options. Satiator is going to be $259 without shipping and taxes and such, whereas stuff like the Fenrir is just a hair over $100 US, and other ODEs are like I don't know how much the mode is, but it's not as expensive as the Satiator. But those do require more, you know, they require taking apart your Saturn and changing things inside of it. You don't get your disk drive. This
Right.
you can keep your disk
You
drive.
relinquish
don't
your
have to
disk
start
drive.
everything. Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, I personally recommend it, and it's constantly getting updates. So some of those compatibility issues, they're far and few, and most of the compatibility issues I've run into were fixed by reformatting my SD card. And many of the other ones that this started with were fixed by Professor Abrasive himself. He's constantly updating it. This thing is still technically in beta, but it is, again, getting constant updates from the professor. So very bright future for it, and it's already working brilliantly as it is, especially for requiring no modification. So
Yeah.
I'd highly recommend this if you're willing to spend the money on it.
It's a good plug and play solution for sure, especially for those that kind of want to keep their disk drive just in case.
You know, you mentioned, and one of the only things you really give up with this is the ability to play the really small number of MPEG supported games, you know, that you would use the MPEG
Right.
card. But you mentioned in your Omakase article that the game utilizes FMVs that are able to fill the entire screen, right? And that the quality is actually
does.
remarkable. And
Yeah,
that got me
no, it's-
thinking, like, our Trekkies needs to dig into that. And, you know,
he already did.
He already did? So what?
Yeah, like the cut. He increased the size of the video for the Lunar Dub edition.
Using the
Like,
same,
they're a little bit bigger.
using like that kind of .fill file format
I'm
or
not
something,
sure if you
or
use
what?
.fill.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
dot fill, but I mean, he's still gotten bigger and better quality, almost
Cool.
to like on par with the MPEG card. So
Yeah.
nowadays it's kind of debatable, especially with that extra space on the Saturn.
Yeah.
If it really even is needed.
I love that he's doing that. I love that Trekkies is kind of like giving us, I guess you could say, like not up res, but you know, enhanced editions, you know, and like
Yeah.
increasing the
Yeah.
quality of the video compression. That's great.
It's good stuff. Well, I'm
Good
going to take
stuff.
off. Before I go, I did look this up. Omakase Savers, you can buy it complete, buy it now for about $30 with shipping on eBay. So it's already going up from the 10 FilmCow paid. And I think someone in chat mentioned that they just bought it.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
You have that
so
power.
there you go.
You got it.
We are ruining the retro gaming scene.
You know, it's like
Get a satiator instead, or get a mode, or
there you go.
Fenrir.
I mean, you know, you don't have to buy the disc to play the game, but that is cool that FilmCow did, you know, buy a legit disc copy to stream it, you know, because that's awesome, you know. I mean,
It
not
only streams legitimate copies of games, or at least has.
That's
I
cool.
think with the Saturn, they'll probably come to a point where there may be, especially with stuff like unreleased games that could only be played on unburned
Right.
discs. I don't know what FilmCow's plans are, if he plans to eventually stream games that aren't on a legitimate disc, but I know he's looked into the Satiator and other things like that. So,
well,
but
you
as far-
mentioned that he's a diehard
right.
collector, right? So I mean,
Diehard
it
collector,
makes sense
yeah,
that he
he's got
would get a
bazillion
physical.
games.
Yeah, like 3,600 or something like that. Crazy.
But does he
Yeah.
have Die Hard in his collection?
I'm sure.
I think there's a link in the article. You can go
Yeah.
take a look.
No, it says
Oh,
that he has like
I'll
all the,
control
he
F
has
on
like
that.
the entire U.S. collection or something like that, or close to it.
Not every US game, but like pretty damn near. So
Speaking of a U.S. collection, here's a game we actually got in the U.S.
I'm gonna go.
Yep.
Take care.
See
Later.
ya, Nick. Looking forward to your next video.
Thank
And,
you. Yes, Corpse Killer.
Oh, nice. Yeah. The
Oh,
one,
yeah.
so
Yeah,
I assume you probably had to burn a disc for that since you couldn't get it working.
I did.
Yeah.
I had to burn 2 discs. It is a 2-disc game because
Nice.
the FMVs in that game also fill the screen, and that comes at the cost of data size. So,
Right.
I can't wait to see what your verdict is on that.
Yep.
oh, dude, man, this is going to be an event. I'm excited for this one. A lot of source material on Corpse Killer, so this will be fun.
Do you have an estimate for like length? Is it going to be another like hour documentary?
It's going to be 2 hours for each
I hope
disc.
so.
You know, given the amount of content I have and where the script is heading, I think it's safe to say we could see a similar length to the Virtua Racing video, give or take 20
Nice.
minutes or so.
Nice. Nice.
So
Cool.
we'll see.
All right.
We'll find out when it's posted eventually. And,
Excellent.
hopefully not long, but it won't be up super soon. Sometime in May.
Cool.
So
So we'll take this opportunity to remind you guys to go check out Pandemonium reviews every Sega Saturn game on YouTube. If you haven't, if you've been living
shucks.
under a rock, under a rock in terms of the Saturn scene, you need to go check
Stop
out
it.
his channel. Yeah, stop.
help.
Yeah, get out of under that rock and go check out Nick's channel because it's amazing. Good stuff.
one would argue
Great
that
stuff.
viewers of the channel are under rocks themselves because it's so small. But that's
Well, we're
that is all.
fixing that. We're trying to fix that. Right? Okay.
Hell yeah.
Next up, we got Best of Saturn, another one of Peter's spotlights. Just a little blurb, just bringing up the fact that Virtual On came to U.S. shores and it had NetLink Play. Of course, you had to buy the NetLink version. That's one thing I wish unlike Duke Nukem, for example, or Saturn Bomberman, where the long box, shelf copy came with NetLink. I do own a long box copy of Virtual On, but I don't own a NetLink copy, and I need to fix that. I have
the cool thing is that you could probably even fit it in the original box too.
Yeah, you
Just bring it,
probably
you probably
could.
shove the disc holder in there.
Yeah, get a disc only. I never even thought about that. Just buy a disc only if I manage to find
Yeah.
that, and then just stick it in my Virtual On box. But yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Pat, this game holds a place in your heart. Am I right?
Yeah. No, this was the first Saturn game I've ever bought.
Yeah.
This is I played this in the arcades like years ago. I'd always play this, I'd always stack up coins with friends, or I just play randos and just play this game over and over again. This and Die Hard Arcade were the first, I guess, at least Saturn games I ever played. Per
Right.
se. Because I played them both in the arcades with the STV hardware, or the Titan boards.
And this game is pretty much the reason to own a dual stick these days.
only reason.
It's the only reason, because while there are other games that support the dual stick, our buddy Sam, the SSG, did a pretty detailed video on the dual stick, and the conclusion that he came to was it's pretty much brilliant for Virtual On, but everything else is just kind of not great. So
Yeah. Unless you're a Virtual On diehard, you don't really need it. But
No,
I mean
yeah.
it's nice. But if you had to get one, I would get the Saturn version because you can get an adapter and use it on the Dreamcast.
Right. Yes, that's
So
true.
if
The
you had to get
Dreamcast
one,
does have
yeah.
a dual stick for Ontario.
Ontario Turagania or something like that.
Tangram or something like that, or whatever. Yeah.
Virtual On 2.
Virtual On 2, yeah. So, but that's cool to know that you can use the Saturn stick on the Dreamcast just with a little adapter.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that I was talking to people about is that if you get certain panels for the Net cities and the Blast cities and the Astro cities, you can actually just get a harness for it, plug it into the thing, remove the panel, and you can have a whole Virtual On setup right there on your candy cab if you want to switch it out.
Cool.
And
That's awesome.
That's sort of something I want to try.
Yeah, you should, and make a video on it or something.
I should.
That'd be
I
rad.
need another candy cab though, and 2 of those panels.
Yeah. Man, I don't know where you find space for all this stuff.
You just throw stuff in the closet and hope it fits.
Okay. Well, I will try to take that advice. Oh, wait. All my closets are already
Don't.
full.
That's a bad advice. They're
Well,
full of Saturn games. Throw your Saturn games out and replace them with candy cabs.
This next little article or write-up, whatever you want to call it. Ooh, I didn't even put a category on it. Oh, That's my bad. Comes to us. This news comes to us care of Mr. Burns in the Sega Extreme Discord server and the SHIRO Discord server. He brought this to my attention, and I did a quick write up on it because I thought this was amazing. It's basically a game from 1995 by Argonaut, who also did Star Fox. They did Stunt Race FX. They did Croc, Legend of the Gobos. Never heard of that one.
Star Fox.
They did Red Dog on the Dreamcast. Several other games. Several other games.
That one.
It's a good one. I mean, if you have a mode in your Dreamcast, you have no reason to not have it on there, and you should definitely try it out. It's like it's like a tank artillery game. It's fun, but it's really cool. I would definitely give it a play. But anyway, so Sega Extreme has what basically happened is the source code was anonymously uploaded to Discord server, and it's now been hosted for download over on Sega Extreme.
It's that same guy that did the Last Dynasty upload.
Is that right? Oh no,
Maybe.
You're just saying what if it is? Okay. Well, anyway, it was anonymous. It was anonymous. So basically, you can go download it and poke around with it if you have an interest in Saturn development, or you have any kind of tools that you could work on it and mess around with it. But that said, it was released as a MS-DOS game in '95, and it was published by Philips Interactive. And I guess it kind of it blends several genres, and that's actually one of the criticisms. It actually got fairly good scores, minus the caveat that most reviewers said that it was just trying to do too much, and that if it had gone with one really solid direction or something like that it would have been a better experience overall. But that the production value was very high. So that's interesting. Basically, the player assumes the role of the protagonist. Fap, or I don't know what I'm saying.
She's what?
Fap? I can't. Sorry, we're just gonna say it's Fap. No.
Yes,
and
protagonist Fap.
He's a humanoid stranded on an alien planet. He faces off against the DAC, and which is like a digital analog converter. Exactly. A race of cyborg aliens who want to invade the whole place. This is I pulled this from Moby Games. Records. Only chance to escape the planet is to help these guys thwart the invasion. And the rest of this, literally, I included a link to the article on Moby Games, so you guys can check it out, because this write-up pretty much comes from Moby Games, and so do these screenshots. I did go ahead and link Mr. Burns' Sega Extreme profile. He says that at this stage...
say excellence.
Yeah, at this stage, it's going to need some extra work, dev kit maybe, to see if it can be built to work. And we're just crossing our fingers that somebody comes along and does something with it, because as it is, it's just source code.
The game looks like complete trash.
Does it? Yeah, that's the thing too. I can play a little bit of it. I'll turn off the audio from the video wall and play a little bit, just so you guys can see what it's all about. So like lots of FMV, 90s, mid 90s FMV.
My favorite, oh boy.
Your favorite. Very similar, I guess you could say, to Last Dynasty, in that regard. I mean, what would a mid 90s game be without FMV, right? And
that's a good point. You can probably skip ahead to the gameplay.
This looks like M2, like 3DO M2 footage or something like that. Skipping ahead.
I like that furry that was going through there.
I know, right? Let's skip ahead to the gameplay. So you got stuff that looks like Land Speeder, Star Wars Land Speeder. The music is bizarre. It's a lot of FMV though. And you got some of this stuff, third person adventure game type stuff. It's an action adventure game, that's what it is. So
I like how this guy is like walking and looks like he's like swagging it.
Yeah. But I mean, it just comes down to if somebody's looking for a project, they happen to be reading this article or watching this, and you're interested, just go ahead and download the files. They're hosted right here. And give it a shot. I mean, for the sake of preservation and stuff, I can see this being like an interesting project. But again, like you say, Pat, I mean, it really comes down to somebody like looking at this and saying that this is something they want to mess around with, it's definitely,
I've seen people mess around with worse. So I
yeah,
guess,
that's true.
I guess whatever.
That's true. So, we'll see. Anyway, it's newsworthy nonetheless. And finally, I wrote up a quick little article, and it's good because we only have 5 minutes left before we need to switch over to the game stream. But Super Potato basically opened up a new eBay shop that is international. So all prices are in dollars. They're doing direct shipping to the buyers. No need for an auction middleman or anything like that. And it kind of cuts out a lot of the independent resellers who have for years just kind of squatted in Japan and just gone to all of the shops and bought up deals to share with folks on Facebook groups and over.
You forgot to mention jack the price up 30% or more.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is it used to be that you could get pretty good deals through private resellers, and that they would pretty much, do marginal markups, just so that they, because they have to, that's a lot of the ways that they're paying for their expensive apartment rent in Japan. It's not cheap to live there. But, I mean, you could say that they were doing us a service, because that's how a lot of us have been getting games. And in recent, I want to say like in the last couple years, some of those folks have actually been going direct to eBay, importing stuff and then selling from U.S. accounts. Like there's a dude out of Arizona actually that good guy, and does good business. Everything that he has for sale is in like pristine condition, and it's reasonable prices, but again, it's been imported and then marked up. Whereas this is an attempt at Super Potato to just cut out that middleman and deal direct to buyers. So I kind of took a negative, I guess, take on this news because most Super Potato themselves are going to spin it positively, and most people out there are going to spin it positively because at the end of the day, this does make it more accessible for folks to buy, anime and manga figures and to get import games. But at the same time, that means that every listing has that many more eyes on it, and that much more competition. So that could end up driving prices up. And when we've already been seeing Saturn games, US Saturn games, they're gone, right? Like Chaz was saying, the market is incredibly gone. It's not something I would recommend to anybody to get into collecting long boxes now, unless you're crazy and you just hate money, But even Japanese games, right, Pat? Like we've been seeing Japanese games go up in price.
Japanese games just like I remember House of the Dead was like $5 and stuff. It's like at least $40 nowadays in the Japanese used market. Like you were able to, even like back in 2015, you were able to get good deals on bundles from people or like people in Japan or people in groups. But now all the games are going up. Like really the only option really that if you want cheap games is going through Yahoo Auctions Japan.
Right.
But I mean, you're going to be paying a premium for shipping.
Exactly. And one of the main, like, I guess you could say, one of the main pieces of advice that we've been giving people for years is, Saturn collecting is expensive, but you can enjoy most of these games if you just look for the Japanese counterpart, and in many cases, you're going to actually experience a lot of great games that you wouldn't be able to if you just focus on the US domestic market. And so that's kind of been the thing that we've been telling folks. But again, like I've been noticing it and saying that, I'm just seeing these prices on Japanese games going up and up and up. And it's not just the shmups, shmups have been expensive forever, but other games like, Omakase Savers, it's kind of like hardly anybody's heard about this game and it's $30. Well, now that we've done this cast, I guess it's going to be a little bit more, but
going to be $100 more.
Anyway, I don't want to be completely glass half empty about this. I do acknowledge that, it's interesting and it's cool. It may set a precedent that other Japanese shops follow, where they're just, they realize that they're losing so much money to like middlemen because they're selling stuff there locally for cheap. And then, resellers resellers are coming along and making, you know, a bit of a profit on that. So you know, it's interesting.
Fair, though, a lot of these stores in Akihabara have always been high prices anyways.
That's
like Super Potato always been pretty high, so with them doing this, I can't imagine how I could get on top of that. Like
it's just like, okay, so like one of the shops that people talk about being great is like Hard Off, you know, Hard Off or Book Off. You can often find a lot of cool stuff there. But I kind of think about it as kind of like in the US, Goodwill in recent years, it's like they've become wise to the fact that people sell Goodwill stuff on eBay. So then they've started having their own auction site, and you go into Goodwill and they've got like a CRT monitor priced at like $200 or $300, and you're just like, come on, like it's bad enough that like you can't even go on OfferUp anymore and buy a CRT without every single description being good for retro games, you know.
Good for retro games, $50, $100.
Like a 20-inch Magnavox piece of crap, you know, and it'll be like great for retro games, $100, you know, and
composite only,
right?
Goodness.
So it's like, you know, eventually, sooner or later, these companies kind of wise up and they figure, okay, well, we know what we have now, and we're going to, you know, charge premium prices for it. So if there's if there is a import Saturn game that or anime figurine that you want to get for your collection, I'd probably jump on it now rather than waiting, because prices are just going to continue to go through the roof.
Yeah, and yeah, it's kind of a sadness, but like I said, deals can still be had. It's not like you can't find anything anymore. If you keep if you go on Yahoo Auctions Japan, there's still, like, I recently actually just bought the Sakura Wars 3 Collector's Edition with the VMU and the music box for I think $40.
And did you do that through Buyee? Or what service did you use?
Yeah.
Buyee, yeah.
I used Yahoo Auction Japan through Buyee.
That's exactly how I got my Neo CDZ, was through Yahoo Auctions Japan and Buyee. And I think the system, along with all the games, it was like $200 done. You know, like. Yeah. So I mean, that was a great deal, and that was including shipping and everything like that. So it was like, you know, you got a console and like a crap ton of games. So that I would agree with you there that that's a good recommendation.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think I kind of like the Super Potatoes doing this.
Yeah.
Because it makes it a little bit more accessible for people that, you know, don't want to do that or don't know how to.
Exactly.
Just easily be able to buy some of the stuff. So I mean, there's positives and negatives to it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the upside, honestly. The accessibility. It's so much more accessible now. I mean, with them doing this, so it's like, and they have a large selection now on their store so far. I mean, it's brand new, like it just went up. So they only have like Super Famicom games listed so far. So I imagine, I told James of Mercia, like he was saying, they have a pretty limited supply right now. But I think it's just that they have to get all that stuff up and listed on the account, and that's going to take time, so they probably need to hire an intern or something for that. But either way, you know, it's Super Potato. They have a pretty large selection, so this is going to make it accessible to folks. But with that will come, you know, unintended consequences, probably, is all I'm saying. I figured it would be more interesting to actually put some kind of slant on the article than just like saying, they did this, you know. But anyway.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, and it's interesting debate about that. We should probably definitely have in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's time. So we could go ahead and I'll let you go ahead and wrap this segment, and then we could unmute everybody and bring them into the game stream, if you like.
Sounds good. Yep, sounds good. Well, thanks for watching, everybody, and for everyone that's watching YouTube and Podiant, we'll catch you next week. Later.
Yep, see ya.